first I create a tab where I will put the fields that will be validated. So here I put a category of tasks. There are 4 categories and I name each one from category 1 to category 4. Then I create 3 fields for the priority: low, medium, and high. So we can put that aside, and later on we will use them to validate our fields in our task list. Talking of which, let's build it. So we have first the estimate, days, hours, months, whatever. And we just put also left to do, the time that is left to do. Here I will put the priority, and for the priority, I will be using the validation field that we had created before. I just go in there, low, medium, high, I select those 3, and then I can just pick and choose the one I want. Next field, I will just put the task name itself. What is it that we are doing? The next field will be the task category. And this is where we will be driving the different colors that we have on our progress chart. So here, same, we select data list, and then the validation, we select those 4 here. Status. In order for me to calculate the status, I need some other fields, and so I will put this one aside for the time being. Now I'm leaving a blank field, and then I put together some 10 cells. So I put the resource here, and then I will put 10 cells here that will be for the progress chart. Now the 2 fields I was mentioning before, I'm just creating them now. So there is a field called done, so that's very simple. You just take what was estimated and you remove the left to do. And the percentage complete, it's what has been done divided by the estimate. So here we have 0.8. Let's put that into percentage. That's 80%. Okay. Now, in order to calculate status, I will be using the ifs. Ifs is a formula that is relatively recent. So if you don't have that, you can just do nested if instead, if you have an older version of Excel. So here, if the percentage complete is 0, that means the task has not started. If the percentage complete is 1, which is 100%, that means the task is completed. And for any other situation, I'll put in progress, because it has to be between 0 and 1. So now we're just checking that it works. Now, in order to put a little bit of colors on the priority, I have selected those 3 colors that I would like to use. So if you want to use some standard blue, you can, but if you want to use exactly the colors I've had, you need to take note of those hex fields here. So just a simple validation, format only cells that contain, and then I will select the first value of the list, which is low, and then I can put the hex value in here that I had for the low value, which is some type of blue. Now I do the same for the others. Manage rule. This time I duplicate the rule, and equal to, I'll just put the next field here, which is medium. So if equals to medium, what do? I'll put another color, which is this strong blue that I had. There. Now this is done. And duplicate again. But before I do that, I put a white font on those fields. Now going back to the red. So for the red, I just copy and paste the hex here. So that will be for the high, will be for the third one. I just change the color this time to white as well of the font. Now this is done. Now here I'll be doing exactly the same process, but with the status this time. And I will be hard-coding the fields here in progress, hard-coded. So I'll just do the same with those 3 fields this time. But this time I'm not duplicating the rule, I'm just doing it one by one because those are hard-coded values, and Excel can play up a bit when we duplicate hard-coded values. You have to be very careful of the quotes to simplify my task. I'm just re-entering it every time. And I choose the different color for each. Before I apply, I want to do the last one. And for not started, I put the red. I just go to the red and I put the same hex code that I have for the red before. So this is it. So I'm doing this quite quickly because we want to go for what is really specific in this spreadsheet, which is the people's face, I suppose. Okay, so next I will be working with the completion bar. So in order to do that, I have these 10 cells I put closer together, and I put 0.1 all the way to 1 with 0.1 increments. And then I go and position myself to the first cell. I put new rule, and here the rule that I have is, I'm just going to give you a little bit of time to digest it. Depending on the category and depending on the percentage completion, if it's what the field above is, if it's the same thing, then I put such color. If it's another category, I put a different color. So, and after, it's very easy to duplicate. You just put category 1 and then you put category 2 because we have named those fields. And this is actually naming cells. It's just a very good way when you have this in conditional formatting. You can actually just change them after very quickly instead of remembering the cell itself. So here I'm doing it. It all depends on so there's 2 components, the category and the value of the cell above. Here for the purple, that's the third color. I just select the purple and I go into other colors and I put the slider up. So that gives me a paler purple. I want all my fields to be pale here. So now it looks like it's working. So now just what I want to do is I want to do a bit more formatting. I want to put a light gray, the lightest gray that you can have. Let's say the first one there on that list. And same here, but I want to keep the resource cells, I want to keep them as white. All the rest there. So the done and percentage complete, I'm not too concerned about those because they will not show. And here what I do is I just select more borders and I just put a thick white border across everything, across the whole lot, and I press the outline and inside. So here you go. So that gives you a little bit more of a visual here. As mentioned, I go to data, group, and I hide those. I don't really need those. They don't need to be updated. They are being calculated. So now I'm just doing a little bit of tidying up by removing the grid lines. I don't like grid lines. And then I'm just putting another heading here. So now I'm just checking. The one that we haven't shown yet is the purple, so it works. Okay, now the starting point, obviously, if we want to put photos of people, is just to have a photo of them somewhere. So hopefully a bit clearer than this one, a bit more smiley than this one. This one is actually quite good. But I assume that you'll have some. So the first thing I'd like to do is to have this white border here. I think that helps. So it gives a bit of a buffer for the cell. We'll see how it works later on. But in order to put a border, if you don't know how to do it, it's very simple. You just go to picture border and you put a weight, a very thick one, maybe this thick, and then you put a color white here. You'll see that that's useful. Now there are 2 ways to do this. So the first way is you insert your picture by importing it directly. but we don't want to do that here because we want to add this border. So here I will assume that you have pictures. I'm just going to put this guy aside, that you have pictures for the resources. So what you do is you copy, Control C, and then you go on the field where you want the picture to be, and you put a paste picture in cell. You don't want to do paste picture because you will just duplicate the picture, but you paste picture in cell this way. Now, if you had the picture somewhere else, you could just have done the same, insert picture, place in cell, and then if you have it on your device, you bring it back this way. But I think it's good to manipulate it a little bit before we inputting in those fields. So now I'm just going to do the same with the free. I'm just going to copy and I'm going to paste it this way, and a smiley one, I'm just going to put it this way here. Okay, so they are all here, but this is not the final destination. Where we want them to be is we want them to be here, right? Resource, right? So what we do is we click on the cell. Now it's a cell like any other, and I will be naming this one John, and I name the cell. Be very mindful to click in twice, and then you go back. You should see the name here. Here I'm just going to call it Patrick. And here I'm going to call it Mary. So what is inside the cell? It's showing picture. It's only the name that we have changed here. The value of the cell is only this picture. So Microsoft doesn't want you to put text and picture. So this is the way of sending the message, I suppose. And now when we go there, the best way that I found is just to put the name here. And I put equal at the beginning. And this is key. You need to put equal. So if you have only one resource doing everything, you can just drag it down and look, it just sends everything back. It's wonderful, isn't it? But I want this guy just to do marketing stuff for the time being. I didn't want to link one resource per task category. I wanted to give the freedom so you can have him doing two things. You can have him doing marketing and sales and the other doing the other stuff. But I'm just going to put sales here. Yes, I've been a bit fancy. I just put a green background for the green category here. So here I'll put Mary. And after I can just copy and paste her, so to speak, here. And then what did I want? The delivery. I just can. Okay. Patrick. For the delivery, I just take Patrick. Delivery Patrick. So it is as easy as that. Now you have name. You can change name whenever you want, however you want, and that just brings the cell back. You only accept the name here because there is an equal in front, otherwise it would not work. Now, to show you how simple and powerful that is, I can refer to a photo cell the same way as it was a proper cell. Now, let me give you an example. It might be a little bit clearer. So I could do a sum if, and the range, I will select the resource range. As a criteria, I will just click on this. I want this to be equal to this. And then you select a range that you would like to sum. And it works just by referring to the photo cell. Something to know that if you want to use, so click on the FX there and you want to see the full function, it doesn't like it when you refer to a cell that is a photo cell, but if you just ignore the big flashing red, it should go away and it should work properly. So you could do the same with let's say Mary and Patrick, and you put the equal as usual. As always, you give them the same width, roughly, and then if you drag this down, it will just calculate it automatically. I think this is quite remarkable. See, this one had quite a bit to do. Now this is good, I think. So obviously you can tidy that up. You can put some, I don't know if you want to do it, but you can put a bit of a text box here on top. You might want to put it on a different tab. I think I'll end up putting it on a different tab, but you can put the color here this way. And here, what did we have? Outstanding. And if I Control D, I put this done. All good. So you see that once you put a white border, this is showing a little bit of space between the cells. I recommend that you have the pics on the same size here. This is something that I found quite important, but you play around with it, you'll notice that otherwise some have a different size, strangely enough. And so this also, if you want to hide it, you probably want to hide this. So you do the usual data group and you hide it this way. And this, it might look a bit odd here, so you might want to put it with a validation maybe, or with another one which is summary. But that's it for me.